Okay, this is part 27. Working on a 1952 U.S. Army 3/4 ton M37. It's a Dodge, basically power wagon. It's actually called a T245, is what it actually is on the what it says in the book anyway. Oh, and look who's here. My little buddy showed up. All right, come on. Oh. Well, it's still cold, but it's actually starting to warm up outside. It was actually supposed to get, actually I think over 50 today. So it's a lot better than being down in the 30s or 20s for that matter. And yeah, so progress on this truck has been a little slow, but things are starting to work. Yesterday we went ahead and me and Ron both started working on the fuel system. The fuel line is kind of weird. The fittings are reverse flare fittings, and if you check out the book, it's actually reverse flare fittings for the fuel system and also for the brakes. You know, you have flare connections on your brake lines. Well, this is basically a flare fitting. And let me see, I got it behind me, I think. Well, actually, number one, this is the this is your high-low beam switch. Well, this wire here was totally gone. It was messed up. Now it turns out the other connections here, they're fine underneath. So they will plug in here. But yeah, it found out, put a meter on it, it works fine. It goes off and on, no problem. So when you wire this back in, should have the headlights should be working fine. It should be on the high and low beam switch with no problem. So that's that. And this is the reverse flare fitting. It has a flare on the inside, and that's on both sides, male and female end. So yeah, go figure. This is the way they hook all these things up, and everywhere where the fuel line has to go, or the basically a fuel filter. We found out on this thing that the original filter, which is a big metal canister type filter, it was removed in this thing. And what they did is they bypassed all the lines, and they have like basically went completely around where the filter would have been. So it had no filter in it. So we had to put an inline filter in this thing too. So anyway, that had that. And then right now what's happening is it turns out the fuel pump is fine. It was working fine. The problem we have is it has a fuel shutoff valve. Well, that was leaking like a sieve. It was shooting gas everywhere. So that didn't work. So right now, went to the hardware store, got some packing, because we figured, well, the packing's probably gone in it. So put that in, nope, still leaked. So I had a couple different types of packing, and it didn't work. So Ron had some hose over at his house. So last night he took it back, and he just told me today, he said, I think I have it. I think I have it sealed up. But the valve itself worked fine. It would close and everything else, but it would just leak out of the fitting somewhere. So what? Oh, go inside. Go play with the kitty. We'll go on. Go play with the kitty. Come on, sorry. There we go. Doggy interruption. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, so my other idea of using the barb fittings for the hoses wouldn't work. So anyway, what we have, I'll show you what we got over here. And turn these on. And there's our fuel delivery system right now. That's actually a big old hypo container, and just filled it with gas. Don't let it fall down there. Get it out of the way. And we just put gas in there and let it go down over the other side. So it's fine all the way over until you get here. I'm going to take this camera off, I think. Hold on. Okay, we are back. I'm going to try the shaky cam. And anyway, there's the fuel pump down there, which works perfectly well. There's no problem with it. And we have a replace line down there. But yeah, it's really weird. You figure everything's 72 years old, so figure, well, nothing's going to work right. But no, apparently that fuel pump is pumping back up here. Even with the thing leaking, it still got up into the hose going to the carb up there. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be okay, but it's just that everything else going to it, like I said, the shut-off valve and stuff like that going to it was messed up, and so that's leaking, and now we got to get that taken care of before we go through all this other stuff. But I'm going to tell you the best place to get parts for this thing, and they supply everything for these military vehicles, and it's called Memphis Equipment Company, and of course it's in Memphis, Tennessee, and they have, I swear, they have the largest number of fittings, NOS parts, and everything else you can think of. That's where these reverse flare fitting lines came from. They came from there, and yeah, I think it was like $24 for 2 of them. So yeah, wasn't bad at all. And they have all the other bigger parts too. I mean, they even have the canvas for the top for this thing. So yeah, they've got basically everything. So if you ever can't find parts, just go online to Memphis Equipment Company, and you should be able to find anything you need. And this is for WCS, M37s. I mean, it's got everything that was military. Anything was military they have. So anyway, we're looking down there, and we have to go ahead and figure something out over here. It seems like we might be sucking air from somewhere, or the guy who rebuilt his carburetor that I bought, it may not be the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. It just seems like we're sucking air when we try to run this thing. So anyhow, things still going along. It's just we're finding more problems instead of, but at least we're able to solve one thing at a time. So anyhow, that's going to be it. Oops, just lost my light. That's going to be it for now. I'll talk to you guys later.